We cater to you. Let me cater to you. Let me cater to I wanna let you know you that you're living I am what you do. I want me to reassure you, my life will be purpose without you. If I want it, I'm gonna ask you. Flying to be built, challenge me for the better. What do you let me cater to you?
Hello family, and welcome back to another show. Yes, we gotta have a conversation. And the conversation is gonna be about what Radar Online had brought to our social media platforms. Is exclusive from them. Okay, they titled it Nene Leaks Accuses Andy Cohen of Sabotaging Negotiations for Her Own Radio Show. That's a hot mess if he did in fact do that, Nene. But again, we don't know. All of this is just hearsay and speculation unless you can find court documents or file court documents that can back up your statement and people that will come in your defense of what you are alleging. Okay, the article was written up by somebody named Ryan Nene. Okay. It goes in to say Nene Leaks believes Andy Cohen and NBC went out of their way to blackball her in the industry after she spoke out about the alleged racism on set of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Okay, Radar obtained a copy of the complaint Nene filed against Cohen, Bravo, and the producers behind Real Housewives of Atlanta. In the suit, the iconic reality star accused the defendants of ignoring her complaints about her co-star Kim Zolciak Biermann. Nene claimed Kim made several severely racially offensive statements during production. She said the network and producers often ignored her and even told her to stop speaking about the matter publicly. To make matters worse, Nene said Kim never suffered consequences, but instead was given her own spin-off show. The ex-Real Housewives of Atlanta star detailed the alleged retaliation in her 74-page lawsuit. Nene said she was denied the right to do other work other than filming for Real Housewives of Atlanta when other housewives who had not spoke out against racially offensive treatment were permitted the right to do other work. Now, just sidebar here, and I do make them here and there when I do videos. Nene, when you were on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth season, if you're saying all of this was going on, because at that time Kim Zolciak was in, she was filming with the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you mean to tell me out of the first to the fifth season, years you spent out on taping and not coercing, but conspiring and being a part of the show, and you and Kim were off and on as friends? Y'all always bickered on the show, but there were some times where you all were straight. And you would go and visit her at her home. You would go out and party with her. Y'all would do teleconferences together. I mean, on your social media platforms. Why didn't any of this come up? I'm sure that is going to be relevant in court if Bravo got some good lawyers, which I'm pretty sure they do. Why didn't you get off the show, or you make a real ruckus and put them on blast between the first, second, third, fourth year and final fifth year of your complaints going unheard? Why you didn't say anything then? That's what all of the majority of the people are thinking and saying in social media, trying to understand your plight. But it's kind of hard when, like I said, you say one thing but you do in action another thing. But going back to the article, it said in November 2018, Nene and Bravo denied her right to appear at the Soul Train Awards, claiming an alleged conflict with the Real Housewives of Atlanta season opener. Nene is adamant that there was no conflict as the shows aired a week apart. The suit points out her co-star Kandi Burruss was given clearance to appear on Celebrity Big Brother the same season, which aired on a major network at the time as Real Housewives of Atlanta, creating a direct conflict. Okay. Now, Nene, again, reporting out, you're saying that Your thing wasn't a conflict because it was a week apart difference. So I know you're making reference and you're trying to find similarity of Candy Birds got put on the Celebrity Big Brother. And the point you were trying to make, both things are kind of the same, but why were you treated differently? And I'm going to say to this point, Nene, you have always waged war with them. You have always had the big head. You have always been what we call the negative diva, showcasing and showing off and telling everything in public media instead of sitting down behind closed doors, pleading your case to them, letting them know, hey, you need to make this extra money. This is money going out your pocket. You know, I'm pretty sure Candy pleaded her case. She just didn't let everything be known to the public because the public can't help you. The public can't help you, Nene. All right? Because again, you're saying all this stuff now that you're not on the show, that everybody's sabotaging you from A to B to down near Z. Okay? So it's really hard to actually be on your side when you contradict yourself here and there and in between as well. But going back to the article, it said the star said after season 11 came to an end, the retaliatory, discriminatory, and harassing treatment of Mrs. Leaks continued. Nene said she was not offered a contract for season 12 until after the season had already begun filming a substantial number of episodes. This was not typical, and it was retaliatory. She was also again offered a lower number of guaranteed episodes than she should have been offered, her lawyer wrote. Nene then accused Andy Cohen and NBC Bravo of continuing to blacklist her and sabotage her attempts to secure work beyond Real Housewives of Atlanta. The suit points to a specific matter where Nene was in talks to start a new show on Sirius XM radio. She said the defendants interfered with and sabotaged this effort. Nene said Annie had told execs about her behind closed doors. Cohen had admitted that he told Sirius XM that Mrs. Leaks would demand a lot of money for any role on a radio show, and obviously efforts to prevent her from getting such a deal. Now, my whole thing about that, Nene, was this before you had called Andy a racist, or you had made negative, stereotypical assumptions about his behavior behind closed doors, and both you and Andy were going tit for tat? Because technically both of y'all were acting like children, very childish. And I don't really think Andy has that much control over what another organization or entity does. It may play a part that he may weigh good on, I guess, telling them about your temperament. But don't you think that the entities would have, had an interview with you, and depending on how you came off, and you were just really asking over the amount or the budget they had planned for you, and you were just negotiating too high on the higher end when you should have been somewhere in the middle range, being acceptable, because you never were a host or hosted more than a couple of weeks, or probably even a day. So a day to maybe a week on somebody's radio personality platform, such as a radio station. You didn't have that background. So again, they were taking a chance on you to see if you could actually do the job. But again, just because you were a celebrity on a ratchet television show, not really showing the best of black women, because that's not what they really wanted to happen anyway. They wanted ratchetness, and they pretty much got it with you all ladies that's on there, except for the ones that sit on the bench, in a sense or expression, that really don't give too much. All right, but going back to the article, it says further, she said Bravo and producers lost all interest in developing her own show. Nene said this was odd because they were all over the idea before she started complaining about the alleged racism at work. At the same time, however, they did negotiate and close a deal with another Real Housewives of Atlanta. Kandi Burruss secured a deal for her own spinoff, Kandi and the Game. Mrs. Burruss have not been vocal in calling out the racially inappropriate behavior over the years to the degree that Mrs. Leaks had been, the suit reads. RadioOnline.com previously reported Nene's suit seeks unspecified damages from Andy and Real Housewives of Atlanta producers. Okay, so I'm like, Nene, again, you can get a lot with using honey than you can with vinegar. And it is up to their discretion of what they feel they want to pay each and every participant on their show. All right? And they have to look at their experience as well. And by you qualifying yourself as going on a reality show, pretty much using your own lines, your own words, you just make it up as you go, because it's just like they are following you, your day-to-day comings and goings. So you really don't need a script for that, even though I'm pretty sure they may tell y'all here and there, each individual, what they would like to see. And then you use your own taste, your own capabilities of making that come alive on screen. Now, I said that to say this. Nene, you opened your mouth too much. You really did. And whether you want to take blame for some of the mess that you're in right now, that's all on you, baby girl. Because these people who have their own companies, their own networks, they're going to do what they want to do. And even if they settle with you, it's probably still not going to be what you want. And then you have to convince other entities in the entertainment business that you were railroaded and that you're really not that person that they painted you out to be. Even though we can see and have definitely seen you in action in the real world, in your real life, out there with just people, everyday people catching your asinine ways. You know, like I keep referring back to when you were in the airport in Atlanta and somebody noticed you and wanted to get a selfie or talk to you or get an autograph, and you just shut them down. You were totally rude to them. You didn't want to be bothered. Like, if you didn't want to be bothered, then you get security. If you don't want to be bothered, stay the hell in the house. Go incognito. Make yourself look like someone totally different, because it's just that thing. In a sense, your fans, your fanatics, whatever, they made who you are. Because if we didn't support whatever you did out there in the industry that you want to be in, if we didn't buy your accessories or whatever you were selling to hype yourself up, if we weren't tuning in to the show that you were pretty much casted on and was a show regular, if we didn't do any of those things, Nene, you wouldn't be who you are. Because you got to have a following, you got to have an audience of people of like-minded tastes. You see where we're going with this, Nene? No artist, no musician, no anybody in entertainment would be where they are if they're making millions of dollars, or they're making, fairly well. They wouldn't be able to sustain that if they didn't have a fan base, a supporting base. And that's what you forget about. I mean, everybody loved Nene. I once loved Nene when she was on the show. But Nene, after she started getting in California, getting stuff on major television networks, sitcom shows where you tape so many episodes and you get paid, but that's more advertisement and business and visuals for you to be out there and have your name out there in Hollywood. Once you start getting people wanting to work with you, even if it was small parts here and there, you got the big head. Because I saw you up there at some luncheon or some philanthropy charity type place where Angela Bassett was there. Tyler Perry was there. So yes, you were rubbing heads, rubbing arms, getting hugs and shakes from the big people that are doing the darn thing up there in Hollywood. So your head got big. People were telling you, you're the next Wendy Williams, you're the next Ellen, whatever. And you got fed into that way of thinking because people were hyping your name up. You were on the right track. But then your big head came into part. You start calling people out for the misdeeds that you felt they were doing to you instead of handling it behind closed doors. I mean, God knows you're not a Monique. You're not a comedian. You're not a well sought out actress that have definitely had their own television shows. And you put yourself up in that type of arena and making similarities to Monique getting blackballed out of the industry or in the industry, and you had not a good resume as long as Monique, but you were trying to make like you were that in that same boat, in that same position, and you had all those accolades such as Monique, but you didn't. So here we are, and there you are. And like I said, it's not going to be a win-win situation for you. You may win some of the money that you were acquiring, but now you're facing an uphill battle, trying to walk with no shoes and no support of a very steep hill to get back to even the middle part of where you were as an entertainer. Because who is going to want to go out on a limb and work for you? And you'll be able to command the certain amount of money you want per episode, per season. You see what I'm saying? It's a bad thing because they're going to look at all this press that you're bringing to yourself, all this negative press, the people that you're calling out. You're not calling out no little name people. You're calling out some big name folks that have been in the industry for years, for 100+ years. You see what I'm saying, Nene? But that's all we have on this particular article that Radar Online had brought out on the battle between Nene and the production company and Andy Cohen as well, and naming other partners in her lawsuit, not suing them, but just making similarities of how things were done to other people that they should have been done for Nene, and that's Kim Zodiac Berman and well as Candy Burris. Okay, but that's all we have with this article. Y'all get down in those comments and y'all let me know how y'all felt about the article and where you think Nene went wrong, and should she be even doing this at all, and does she have a chance on prevailing, getting other work after this is all done and said. Okay, and I'll see y'all next video. Bye bye.